Once upon a time, long before air fryers, meal kits, and TikTok chefs, America truly believed the future of food came in a tiny aluminum tray. Yep, frozen dinners weren't just convenient. They were futuristic. People looked at a Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and dessert, all sitting in perfectly divided compartments, and thought, wow, this is it. We've made it as a civilization. Imagine the excitement. You pop the tray into the oven, wait 25 long minutes, and boom! Dinner that looked like it was assembled by a robot from the Jetsons. No chopping, no dishes, no arguing over who has to peel the potatoes. Frozen dinners promised a world where cooking was optional and convenience was king. They weren't just food, they were a technology flex. But how did America go from celebrating these space-age meals to roast them as symbols of sad single-guy dinners? And why, for a while, did everyone genuinely think this was the future of eating? Today, we're diving into the rise, fall, and comeback of frozen dinners, and what they say about the American dream of easy living. And hey, if you're watching this on TV, grab your phone or laptop and hit subscribe. It helps the channel way more than you think. And I promise, no microwaving required. To understand how frozen dinners became the future, we have to rewind to the 1940s, a time when America was dealing with two big things: World War II and way too many turkeys. No, really. In 1953, the food company Swanson accidentally ordered 260 tons of extra Thanksgiving turkeys. Not pounds, tons. They had warehouses full of frozen birds sitting around like, well, now what? But this story actually starts a little earlier. The birth of freezing tech. During the 1940s, the government invested heavily in freezing technology for wartime meals. Soldiers needed food that lasted, traveled well, and didn't kill them along the way. Freezing was the answer. It kept food safe, edible, and surprisingly tasty. After the war, companies were like, what if we used this military-grade freezing power to feed suburban families? Cue the baby boom, the rise of the suburbs, and a brand new American lifestyle. Busy, modern, and obsessed with the idea of convenience. Refrigerators and freezers were suddenly everywhere, and for the first time, families could store food for weeks instead of days. It felt like magic, or at least like cheating the laws of nature. Enter the problem: too much turkey. Back to Swanson and their turkey disaster. One salesman had a wild idea. What if they sliced the turkey, added sides, packed it into a neat little tray, and froze it? Boom! The frozen dinner was born. And America didn't just like it. America lost its mind. Because this wasn't just food, it was the future served at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. Once Swanson solved their mountain of leftover turkey problem, they stumbled into something way bigger: a cultural movement. In 1954, they officially launched the Swanson TV dinner. Complete with the iconic aluminum tray, 3 compartments, and packaging that proudly featured a picture of a TV. That's right. It wasn't called a frozen dinner. It was specifically designed for eating in front of the television, America's newest obsession. Eating plus watching equals the American dream. Families had just started buying TVS, and everyone was hypnotized by this glowing box in the living room. The TV wasn't just entertainment. It was an event, a bonding moment, a futuristic centerpiece. And the TV dinner said, why sit at the dining table like peasants when you can eat turkey and mashed potatoes while watching I Love Lucy? Dinner and a show. Pre-Netflix. Suddenly, the dining room table was optional. Forks, plates, time, effort, optional. America said, yes, this is modern living. The psychology behind it. Frozen meals tapped perfectly into the 1950s mindset. America loved anything, space age, scientific, and efficient. Microwaves were still years away, but even heating something in the oven without chopping a single vegetable felt futuristic. TV dinners also became a symbol of suburban independence. Mom didn't have to cook from scratch every night. Dad could eat whenever he got home from work. Kids could feed themselves if needed. It was food for a new kind of family. A family that was busier, more spread out, and ready to embrace convenience like gospel. Sales equals insanity. Within 1 year, Swanson sold 10 million TV dinners. By the late 1950s, frozen meals weren't just trending. They were the culinary future. Frozen fried chicken, frozen meatloaf, frozen apple pie. If you could freeze it, someone sold it in a tray. TV dinners were America's original meal prep service. Just, with a lot more gravy. Frozen dinners weren't just popular because they were easy. They were popular because they solved a very 1950s American problem. Everyone suddenly had too much to do, too little time, and too many expectations. The gender role. Earthquake. Post-war America told women 2 things. Be the perfect housewife. Also, go work now. Make it make sense. Frozen dinners stepped in like, hey, we know society's giving you mixed messages, so here's turkey, potatoes, and peas, pre-assembled. The TV dinner wasn't just food, it was permission. Permission for moms to skip cooking without guilt, and permission for families to relax instead of performing a perfect Norman Rockwell dinner every night. Time became the new luxury. America was falling in love with speed. Faster highways, faster cars, faster everything. If something made life easier, it felt modern, smart, even glamorous. Why spend 90 minutes making a roast when you could spend that time doing literally anything else? Frozen dinners didn't just save effort. They saved identity. They allowed families to feel like they were embracing the future. The science says convenience equals happiness. Psychologists will tell you, when you remove effort from a task people dislike, their satisfaction skyrockets. Frozen meals were the original work smarter, not harder. They removed chopping, planning, prepping, dishes, crying over onions, all while giving you a hot meal with 0 skill required. The space age effect. Every ad used words like modern, scientific, space age, streamlined. A frozen dinner felt less like food and more like controlling the future with your oven dial. It was conveniently packaged as progress, and America devoured it, literally and emotionally. By the 1980s, America's love affair with frozen dinners started cooling off. The futuristic shine of those aluminum trays? Yeah, it was fading faster than a microwave pizza crust. The processed food panic begins. Suddenly, people were reading nutrition labels, and frozen dinners were like 1,200 milligrams of sodium, 46 ingredients, and at least 3 words you can't pronounce. Not a great look. The same meals that once felt scientific now felt suspicious. People started asking, why does this mashed potato stay the same shape for 4 months? Fresh became the new future. In the 90s and 2000s, America pivoted hard toward fresh, organic, and natural. Salads got cool. Smoothies became personality traits. And suddenly, frozen meals felt like something your sad uncle ate alone at 11 p.m. The TV dinner shifted from aspirational to depressing. It became the culinary equivalent of a beige cubicle. Even the branding changed. Gone were the space-age fonts and futurism. Everything now screamed diet, light, slim, or low-fat, turning frozen dinners into a weird hybrid of punishment and portion control. Microwaves didn't help either. When microwaves took over American kitchens, meal companies rushed to redesign everything for speed. Great for convenience, terrible for texture. The meat turned rubbery. Vegetables turned gray. Everything tasted like hot, wet disappointment. And then came fast food. Why wait 25 minutes for a frozen turkey meal? When you could get fries and a burger in under 5, fast food became the new convenience king. And frozen dinners were left behind, still sitting in their sad little trays, waiting for a future that had moved on without them. Frozen dinners weren't modern anymore. They were last resort. Plot twist. Frozen dinners didn't stay sad forever. In fact, they're having a major comeback. Thanks to millennials and Gen Z, frozen food suddenly went from last resort to low-key genius life hack. Science finally caught up. Freezing technology got way better. Flash freezing locks in nutrients, flavor, and texture, so some frozen veggies today are literally fresher than the fresh ones at the store. Goodbye, gray broccoli. Hello, I can microwave this and not cry. Healthy brands saved the day. Enter brands like Amy's, Trader Joe's frozen meals, Sweet Earth, Daily Harvest, Whole Foods 365. These companies took the frozen concept and said, what if it didn't taste like disappointment? Suddenly, frozen meals had whole grains, real vegetables, clean ingredients, Instagrammable packaging. They went from TV dinners to wellness convenience. Nostalgia hit hard. People also rediscovered the vibes of frozen meals. Cozy, comforting, predictable, food that feels like pressing pause on chaos. The sustainability twist. Frozen food reduces waste. You eat what you need, save the rest, and nothing spoils. It's convenience meets sustainability. The ultimate 2020s power couple. And just like that, frozen meals are cool again. Maybe not space-age future cool, but smart, efficient, vibey adulting is cool. So yeah, frozen dinners once promised America the future, the space-age dream, the Jetsons fantasy, dinner without effort, mess, or stress. Just heat and eat. And sure, the shiny aluminum tray lost its magic for a while. We got healthier, busier, pickier, and maybe a little suspicious of mashed potatoes that never age. But frozen meals never really left us. They just evolved. From futuristic to sad to smart again. Because at the end of the day, frozen dinners weren't about food. They were about freedom, about reclaiming time, simplifying chaos, and letting dinner be a moment instead of a chore. And maybe that's still the future we want, just with better ingredients and fewer mystery gravies. And hey, if you're watching this on your TV, which you probably are, grab your phone or laptop and hit subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and unlike frozen dinners, it tastes good every time.